Um, you've mentioned a lot how this is kind of a race. You're still in the process of it. Obviously, the goal being March. That being said, how much was a win Saturday at a checkpoint kind of a confidence boost to kind of give you guys a second?
Yeah, I mean, it gives you energy. It reaffirms your work, your heart, your efforts, and I keep saying you just stick to the process, keep coming in, doing the work, but at some point you want fruits of your labor, and so that helped a whole lot to be able to come into practice, on yesterday, and it just had that energy coming off a win as opposed to a disappointing loss. We've had a handful of those where we felt like we were in a spot to win and played well enough to win, but didn't get the win, and so it was nice to be able to come in and feel like you accomplished your goal. And so now we're getting ready for a really tough road trip, and but get a little bounce in your step and a little bit more confidence, and hopefully that'll lead to a few more rebounds and a few more made shots.
I mean, you mentioned rebounds. How much did you guys go over? Look, this is what happens when you put in the work, when you're able to. I mean, you said you had stretches, particularly in the second quarter, but still to out rebound that team, and that rebounding margin seems to be almost kind of the key to wins or losses for you guys this season.
Absolutely, because we're not generating a whole lot of, getting ready to play a team that's one of the best teams in the country in generating steals, getting steals, and that's some place that we've traditionally been, and we're not getting those possessions, so we've got to do a great job on the boards. And the film edit that we watched on ourselves was us boxing out. You're talking about the rebounds, but it's more about the boxing out, making sure you're keeping other players from flying in, and that's what we didn't do against New Mexico State. And so, that's what we got to continue to do for us to be successful. We've got to keep people off the boards and make shots.
Coach, coming into this season, I mean, you kind of talked, it just felt like the whole team aspect of them being really tight this year. Have you kind of seen maybe in practice, whether you are coming off of a loss versus coming off of a big win, how that really helps them whenever it comes back to practice?
No, you're absolutely right. Like it's just that positive feedback. You get a win, you have success. That's some positive feedback. It's hard to, you have to keep doing it. You don't have a choice to keep running the race or to keep, pulling your boots on and going to work. You don't have a choice. And we still had that same message going into practice yesterday. But it's a different energy when you're coming off of something where you had some success.
You brought up you guys taking on a team good in steals. You guys have a team that's really good at passing the ball, making a good pass, but sometimes there's a tendency to overpass the ball. Can you talk about how you kind of teach the girls, find the right pass but don't kind of overdo it?
Yeah, it's a great point. It's decision making. That's what it boils down to. And we spend a lot of drills working on decision making, and we try to simplify decisions down to you got two choices. That's it. There's a lot of studies that the more decisions, the more choices you have, the longer it takes you to make that decision. And so if you can boil it down to this or this, you can make a quicker, more decisive decision. And we always talk about if you're going to make a mistake, make an aggressive mistake. And so we want to favor that being aggressiveness. And so yes, we want to share the ball, but we also want to make that quick decision on, do I have a drive or a shot, or do I move it, not hold it and wait and then dribble into trouble or dribble surge and then nothing comes out of that. And so, it comes down to decision making. And so we like the ball movement. We don't want the ball to stick. We want to change sides. We want to get the ball into the paint. But at the end of the day, somebody's got to, feel confident when they're open, squared up to make that shot or squared up to get that drive.
Two teams you face this week. Obviously, Sam Houston kind of opened a lot of eyes with that win at Liberty this past weekend. They're playing really well. And then you've got a Louisiana Tech team who was picked to win this conference in the preseason, has played pretty well and played really well traditionally in wrestling.
Yeah, they're always hard to beat at home, regardless. And I think the two things that these teams, while they're very different teams, the thing that they have in common are returning players. Sam Houston's got 7 seniors, and they've got as many returners as anybody in our conference, and so they're playing really confidently, really well, and had a great win on the road at Liberty. And so we've got to take care of the ball. They're really aggressive in transition and aggressive on defense, and so we've got to take care of the ball, get the ball down the floor, and then we've got to be able to make some shots. We're going to have to be strong with the ball and want to get to the free throw line. If we're trying to avoid trips to the free throw line, then we're probably taking bad shots. And so we've got to be able to be strong with the ball and want to get to the free throw line. And so I think if we can do those things, and then our transition defense will be huge. If we can do those things, then we're going to have a shot at it. But if we don't rebound, if we don't do our transition defense well, then it'll be a tough place to play.
Yeah, you mentioned rebound. Kind of going back to that one more time. One thing that I thought was kind of similar with these teams too is they might be middle of the pack in overall rebounds. They're both towards the top of the conference in offensive rebounds.
Right. And just like New Mexico State, they've got, UTEP, just like UTEP, they've got players that just fly to the boards. You think you've got somebody boxed out. If you try to box somebody out with like a crossing guard stop, that's not going to work. It's going to have to be a contest. It's going to be a physical contest for who gets to the ball first. And so, and with a lot of their players, we don't want to get into a foot race to the ball. So we've got to make sure that we're doing our job and just simple, old-fashioned basketball, box somebody out.
Looking at Sam Houston's 3 wins this year, they've all been down the stretch, fourth quarter, or even overtime wins. How crucial is it that you guys have a start like you did on Saturday against UTEP in that first quarter to kind of prevent?
Yeah, Cole, we've had several starts where we've gotten off to good starts, and we've had some breakdowns in the third and the fourth quarter defensively or offensively where we just took a lot of bad shots, took a lot of threes, missed them. And so just to be blunt about it, that's exactly what it was. And so we've had some good starts. We've had some slow starts. But on the road, that'll be huge just to keep that confidence. The most important thing is to make sure that we're not allowing teams to get a lot of second and third opportunities. And that's the key because, in watching film, there was a possession where Sam Houston was playing Liberty and they had, on one possession, 5 offensive rebounds. Well, that not only is that great for them, but that's demoralizing for you. That's a lot of effort, and so you're better off. You're going to put that effort in there somewhere. You're either going to do it early or you're going to do it late, and so you might as well go ahead and do it early and get your job done. And so, we want to get off to a great start, but mainly we wanted to get off to a great start defensively, and then boxing out and take care of the boards.
These past couple of games, we've seen kind of the presence of Salma coming off the bench. Especially down the stretch. You can start off hot, but we've kind of seen a little bit, like you said, in the third and fourth quarter, maybe a little bit of that, putting that extra effort in kind of catches up to them a little bit. Just how important is it just for that depth to just be able to come in and still have that high intensity? You're
exactly. Like we've talked about that from the beginning of the year, that in our huddle at dinner practice, we're going to need, and the girls will say everybody, because we need everyone. And, we don't have, we don't have 3 seniors. We don't have a team like Sam Houston has 6 seniors, 7 seniors on the team that are returning. So we need everyone, and everyone's got to kind of keep rallying together. And because, tonight might be your night offensively, tonight might be your night. It'll take different players. And so the key is to keep working hard and playing together, coming out there and really being unselfish in a way, not just in ball movement, but that I'll box out and you box out and you go get the ball. And so as long as we keep doing those things, I think we're a better team. And Salma's been huge for us coming off the bench offensively. I think what probably doesn't go noticed is that she's been improving and more focused on her defense and her rebounding. And that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest adjustment or change. I know she's always been able to drive the ball. What she's learning now is that teams are starting to really crowd and collapse on her drive, and so she's recognizing other opportunities, and that's just the growth. That's growth and experience.
Anything else?
Thank you guys for coming in this morning.
Clearly scouted my game because you pointed to